say a joke that nobody else will think is funny, but he will laugh like crazy. And then he'll say a joke that nobody else thinks is funny, but I will laugh like crazy. And I'm like, apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
The OHP Uncut Podcast with Kannon.
Welcome to Open House Party. It's a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
My producer came in yesterday and she goes, look at his Wikipedia page. It's blank. And I was like, oh, does that look different than normal? And I looked at Drake's and I'm like, oh yeah, there's usually like this whole outline of things about people.
Is mine blank?
There's just all the sections aren't there. And
got it.
We're going to make sure that I'm going to be responsible for most of your Wikipedia page. All the information there. We're going to go down. I'm going to use Drake's as like a template, and we'll go down the outline and fill it in so that people can actually learn who you are as a human being, not just about you as EJ, but you as a human being, as Matt, okay? They always start with life and career and like early childhood. I know you grew up in Arkansas.
Yes.
In a city that's teeny tiny, but famous for something big that's not just you.
Yeah. It's, I grew up very close to where Walmart was started. Walmart was started right by my hometown. It's crazy. Which is funny because I feel like because I grew up in that town, I'm always looking for Walmarts everywhere I go. I feel like Walmart's like, most people are either like a Ralph's kind of person or like a Target kind of person or Trader Joe's. I'm a Walmart man. And I'm not afraid to admit it. I do love my Walmart runs.
There's no need to be afraid to admit that, man. What do you do at Walmart? What's the most enticing thing about Walmart for you when you go there?
Oh, wow. That's a great, I'm 20, almost 24 years old, and I still do enjoy going through the toy aisles. It's, I go look at the Lego sets and the board games. No, I don't know. What is the most, the video game section. Every time I go to Walmart, it does not matter what I'm going to Walmart for. It could be for groceries. I went to Walmart a couple days ago, literally for a gallon of milk, and left with like a new controller for my PlayStation, a gallon of milk, like new cords for whatever. Yeah, it's I have a problem.
You live in LA though now. You don't live in Arkansas anymore, right?
Yeah, I live in LA.
So have you ever been to the first Walmart? Is that still there?
So the first ever Walmart was a 5 and dime store created by Sam Walton. And it was, I've been like it's still there. The store's still there. I think it's a museum though now. I don't think it's an actual store, but I have driven by it. I have not been inside of it. But it is interesting how, all the stores are numbered. And so all the stores in my town where I grew up are all like very low numbers, like store number 8 or like whatever. And it's also kind of nice because all of our Walmarts, since we're right by the home office, all of our Walmarts in Arkansas get all the refurbishments and all the new updates first. Ooh, so we always have like the nicest, newest Walmarts.
If you go to the Walmart museum, if that's something that your path takes you to, I question how much you have to do in life. All right, kids, hop in the car. We're going to go to the Walmart museum today.
Yeah.
Why I thought that would be the accent.
You're close here.
Where I live in Georgia, funnily enough, I live in a little town outside Atlanta. The first Waffle House is across the street over here. Ever?
No way.
Also a museum.
Wow. Well, they love turning these first things into museums, don't they?
I really. I mean, who doesn't want to go to both of these museums?
That's very fair. I've never been to a Waffle House. Can you believe that?
Have you never?
I've never been inside of a Waffle House. I've never eaten at a Waffle House, never been inside of one. I've been around one, but I've never gone inside of one. Crazy. I know.
Where would you go at 3 a.m. then if you were trying to get something to eat?
IHOP.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or McDonald's, actually. I'm a McDonald's man.
I'm just going to lay it down right now, man. Waffle House is way better than IHOP. It's not even a comparison.
I've heard that, but also I've heard the Waffle House close to where I grew up was kind of sketchy. So
they're all a little sketchy. That's part of the charm, man. All right. Tell me about your career beginnings then. That would be the next thing on the outline. Then tell me about how you got your start in Arkansas, what brought you to LA, and why you're doing what you do.
Yeah, I did theater in school growing up in middle school. And I was like, I loved theater. It wasn't musical theater, but it was theater. And I did, I did a couple things with them. I was the Flying Monkey King as well as Farmer Number 2 in The Wizard of Oz. I know. And then, it was, it's a funny story because I kind of, I guess, got my start through, those radio ads that you hear that's like, do you want to be an actor on the Disney Channel?
Yes.
Yeah. So we heard one of those. And, most of those things are a total scam, but we heard one of those and I was like, I want to do this. I want to do this. And they had like some scouts do this thing in my town. And I went to it and ended up getting invited by one of the scouts that was there, was a scout for this big acting convention in Los Angeles. And so he asked me or invited me to come to that. And, my mom and I came out to it and I met my manager there. It was a week long thing of, you work on commercials and monologues and scenes with other people. And it's a week of that. And you can do acting, modeling, singing, dancing. It was a lot of fun. And I met a lot of people there, made a lot of friends there, but that's where I met my manager. And then from there, I kind of, worked my way through. And after being with my manager for probably about a year, is whenever my manager was like, okay, I think it's time to get an agent now. And then I went and got an agent and, life's been treating me well, knock on wood.
What were the first kind of roles you were getting then before they said you need to get a manager?
I would say like I was doing a lot of like short films, a couple student films, like, just stuff like that, just to build the resume and get experience because I had no kind of like on camera acting experience. Every bit of acting I had was like theater. That I had done in school. I was in the drama club. So every bit of acting I had was that. And so I needed those like very small roles that while they might be small roles in small projects, like they played such a big part in my career because without those, like every little thing is a stepping stone, and, without those, I got so much experience just from those alone. And if my first project I ever did was this huge movie or this huge TV show, I would not know what the heck I was doing. I wouldn't have known where to go. I wouldn't have known what to do. I wouldn't have known how to work, just because I had never experienced that. So yeah, just did a couple smaller things and eventually just worked my way up.
So it started as acting then for you. When did you realize you could sing?
Last week? No, I'm just kidding. I've been able to I've been singing per se for a long time, but I think right around when I booked High School Musical, I still wasn't like confident in my singing enough to really sing for people. Anytime I would get an audition where I had to sing, I'd be like, and I think through High School Musical is when I really got comfortable with it, and when I really learned like, oh wow, with I actually can sing. And especially when I work with a vocal coach more often, it's very interesting seeing how my voice changes when I work with a vocal coach versus when I don't work with a vocal coach for a couple months. And I'm like, wow, I need to get back with that coach. But yeah, I think really High School Musical is what brought that out of me while I still sang in the shower, as everybody does.
So when you go to a vocal coach, everyone, when they think about a vocal coach, you think about the vocal exercises that people do to get warmed up. Do you have those? Can you demonstrate a little warm up?
Oh, absolutely. What's one that's there's a couple really funny ones. There's some where for me, I'm trying to to stretch my range because I have a little bit of a deeper voice. And whenever I sing, it's I'm just trying to stretch my range a little higher. So, there's a couple, what's the one? Oh, there's one that's very funny. And every time I do it around people, they just laugh at me. But it's like, nee, 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 nee. It's very nasally, dun, nee, 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 nee. It's hilarious. They're all the standard ones,
They might be all the standard ones, but that didn't mean I didn't want to hear you do it.
That's very fair.
So the next one, the next thing that people would want to know about you would be under the section of personal life. Now, we'll just start with a basic question. What do you think is the most important thing for people to know about you as a person, not an actor?
I think for me, I'm such a family person, and I put family and family and my religion are two of my like top things in my life. My family comes first in every aspect. There's no amount of work or no amount of money or no amount of anything that could pull me away from my family. And there are things like if I'm working on something or there's this huge project I'm up for, but something comes up with my family and I need to go home and like drop out of a project for that, I'm going to do it, because at the end of the day, family, unfortunately, this is kind of a sad thing, but like, unfortunately, they're not going to be there forever. And so, I also give my family I think my family plays a huge role in where I'm at in my career, because without their support, and like my brother is the one that paid for me to go to that acting convention in LA. And, I'm a very, very big family man, and my family is the most important thing in my life. And also, just like I said, I'm a very religious person, and I grew up, Christian, and so that plays a big part in who I am as well. So yeah, those are probably the top two things that for me.
If you're looking for people to date in LA, is it maybe hard to find somebody else that it has the same sort of like core values and beliefs that you do?
Sometimes it's actually interesting. I've found a lot more. I've come to find more friends recently that kind of value those things more, which is interesting, because I feel like, where I was raised, it's more normal kind of to be raised religious and very family focused. And I think, which I'm not trying to like say anything bad about any places, but I feel like in Los Angeles, there's a different set of or a different type of core values that are focused on, and which that's totally fine. Everyone, you see me trying to dance around this, trying not to like say anything bad about anyone. No, everyone has their own, values and all of that, but it is interesting how, trying to find certain friends and people, it's interesting trying to find the ones that have the same values as you. But I've been lucky enough to be able to do it. And I have so many close friends that I cherish.
The next thing that would come up would be legacy. Which I guess we can just broadly ask, why do you do what you do? What do you want to accomplish with your art?
For me, it gives people an escape, and truly one of the best things to hear from someone is, hey, this project you did really helped me through a tough time, or this project you did really helped me come more into myself, or made me more proud of who I am, or made me this or that. And I think seeing how different projects that I've been a part of affect people, and how it affects people in a positive way, is such a huge thing. Because for me, I do what I do to give people an escape from stressful life, because life is stressful.
That's kind of the reason I do what I do. I'm just trying to brighten people's day. I'm trying to make people smile for just a little bit. Even if it's just a short
of course. If I can make one person smile every day, my life is like complete.
So then when it comes to High School Musical, the series, then how do you feel about the series itself and what it brings to the audience?
I originally auditioned for Ricky, who Joshua Bassett plays, and auditioned for that, which Josh has a joke that he constantly makes every time I talk about that in an interview with him. He's like, hey, how'd that go? I'm like, well, clearly pretty well, because I'm still on the show. And then after we booked it, it was pretty quick into filming. I think we started filming like 2 months later, 2 or 3 months later, something like that.
I don't know how you do it. I don't know how actors do it. Like, you have rejection as a part of life as an actor.
Yeah.
Crazy to me. It would drive me nuts, man. Like, I don't have the mental makeup for it, because I give too much like what other people think of me.
No, I do too. Trust me. I do too. And it sucks sometimes, but you have to have thick skin, and also like, at least you hope. Most of the time it's not personal. They're going for a very specific look, and everyone has their perfect roles for themselves. So It definitely is tough though sometimes, where you get attached to one, you really want one, and they're like, sorry.
Well, congratulations. I'm season 3 now, and season 4 is to come, right?
Yes, yeah, it is.
God, you got to feel good about that. You're not going anywhere.
I just feel lucky to get to be a part of a show that is so that just tells such great stories, and that is so well liked among people. And yeah, I'm very excited to see what season 4 entails. I literally know nothing about it, so I'm just as excited as everyone else is to find out about it.
Before we go, we have 5 random questions. That's what we do at the end of interviews. 5 random questions. We ask everyone we talk to the same 5 random questions. Okay. And these are mostly for TikTok. So we'll start with number 1, if you're ready.
Yes.
All right. What is the last song you turned up really loud, Matt?
Over and Over Again by, I think, Nathan Sykes and Ariana Grande.
Nice. Wow. Where did you come across that song? I heard it in...
Actually, gonna blow your mind. I believe I heard this in a Walmart. I'm not even kidding. I think I heard it in a Walmart. And I was like, wow, this is a fantastic song. It was either a Walmart or a Starbucks. Very different things.
What is your dream role?
Oh, I want to play a superhero so bad. Like I want to be a Marvel superhero, or, I say Marvel, I'm a big Marvel fan, but really any superhero. I want to be a superhero so bad.
Not one in particular, just any superhero?
Spider-Man would be sick, but I think Tom Holland has absolutely crushed that role. And I don't know if he can ever be beat because he's like the best Spider-Man ever. Gosh, that's actually I can't say that because Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are fantastic as well. But I don't know. Any superhero it would be fantastic.
Who is your biggest role model in life?
I don't think I can pick one person, but I would truly say, and this sounds so cliche, but I think my biggest role model in life is like my dad and my brother. I look up to them so much, and I think my dad is such a perfect dad, and I could not ask for a better dad, and I just want to amount up to like half the man that he is.
When it comes to your dad, do you ever say things, do things ever come out of your mouth that you're like, oh my God, I'm becoming my dad?
Oh, absolutely. I make all the like dumb little dad jokes that he makes, and I'm like, wow, that is my father to a T. He and I talk all the time. We have like identical senses of humor. And so I'll say a joke that nobody else will think is funny, but he will laugh like crazy. And then he'll say a joke that nobody else thinks is funny, but I will laugh like crazy. And I'm like, apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Finally, then, if you could go to dinner or spend one night with the fictional character of your choice, who would it be and why?
I'm going to say either like Captain America or Thor, because I just want to know what their workout routine is. Because my Lord, those are some large gentlemen. Large gentlemen? Gentlemen. Yes, gentlemen. What is the English language? Does anybody know?
Well, new episodes Wednesdays on Disney Plus. Thank you, man. You're an actual, genuinely nice person in Hollywood. It's nice. A breath of fresh air, to be honest.
That's very nice of you. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
The OHP Uncut Podcast with Kannon.